Hi everyone, we are going to start doing a market update. It's going to be called SEEtwothelos, thoughts on the market. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the current condition of the market, things to look at. I love statistics, so I look at a lot of statistics to know how to best advise our clients and how to approach, situations. So one of the coolest things about being a real estate agent is that we have access to a lot of data that other people don't have access to. So I'm going to share my screen here so that you can see some of this data and we can go through it together. So here's the MLS. We get to look at all this data. I have some screens already selected for us to look at. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the median sales price. This is a good thing to look at because we can see, back in 2008, you saw the prices start to go down little by little, month by month. We could see them go down. They start going in a downtrend. So if we're in that type of market, we would be able to notice months before the actual bottom. As you can see, it took us from 2008 all the way down to 2012 to hit the bottom of 114,900 median sales price. So now we have been on an up tear for the last 10 years, 9 years here since 2012. And as you can see, we are still in an uptrend. Last month, the median price was 310. The month before that was 310, then 305, and right now we're at 311.5. So as we see this number go down, you're going to find out about it, and we will keep track of it. But right now, this is on an uptrend, which says that prices are still going up according to Arizona MLS. The next one we can look at is the new listings. So the new listings back in 2008, when we have a lot of listings is when prices go down. When there's very few listings, prices go up because not a lot of people, because people are competing for the same house. So back in 2008, we were at about 3,200 listings. Now, fast forward all the way to 2021, as you can see, we've been pretty consistent with the amount of listings that we get. We always have these dips in December. As you can see, every single time in December, we have less listings in December. This has been happening for a long, long time. So this is what we'd call the bottom. So right now we will see how low we go with how many listings we get. If we were seeing prices go down, this number would now be going upwards, or we would have a trend going upwards here. So we'll see what happens in the coming months. But right now we're about to hit the local bottom. See, we're in November, we're actually entering December. We only have stats for November. As you can see, it's pretty similar to where we were in 2020 in November. We'll see how many listings we have in December. Right? Another thing that we can look at is the supply of homes. This is what we call inventory. So pretty much anytime that you're at 6 months of inventory, that's a neutral market. If you have more than 6 months of inventory, we consider that a buyer's market. And if you have less, we consider that a seller's market. Right now, we're very less. We're at 1.2 months of supply, down from 1.4. So as you can see, if we were in a market where the prices were going down, we would be looking at more than 6 months of inventory. The good thing about that, guys, is when it does happen, we're going to see it months before it actually happens. Real estate is not like the stock market. It takes a long time for it to crash, and we could be on a downturn like this for years, just the way that we saw it back in 2012, where we had a lot of inventory for that amount of time. The next statistic that we should look at is the closed sales. Back in 2008, we had under 1,000 sales each month. This is a good indication of how much confidence there is in the market. Right now, we're at all-time highs. In fact, it looks like we might have hit our season low. Usually we hit our season low around January with the amount of sales, because less listings in December equals less sales in January usually. And so as you can see, it's almost always low. So we're gonna get to find out here in January, see how low we go. We probably will come up, down, and we'll probably be somewhere right here. But again, we'll be able to tell if the market is starting to correct by looking at these statistics, and we'll have plenty of time to do what we need to do, whether we're recommending our clients to be selling or buying. And of course, it all depends on your situation. So if you have any questions specifically about the market, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to talk about statistics, one of my favorite things to look at. Another thing that I like to look at is the rental market. The rental market tells us how much investors are getting for their properties. So whenever we're trying to calculate, future rentals for properties that are being purchased, we like to look at the rental indicator. So something that's crazy is that the year-over-year change right now on rentals, November of 2021, is 17.6% up. So this is how much more renting is. So one of the many reasons that you should be owning your home, of course, is because this can happen. And once they increase, they go up in a percentage, but the amount stays high. So the rental price doesn't really go down. It hasn't in history ever, at least. So anyway, that's something to look at as well. Rental prices going up. Another thing that I like to look at is I like to look at mortgages and the whole foreclosure issue that we're having because of COVID. I like to see if there's going to be foreclosures coming up, and that gives me a good idea of how much inventory we're going to have, if we're going to get any inventory from foreclosure. So I like to look at Black Knight. These guys have been tracking the mortgage industry since I think it's 2013 or 2012. With good reason, so that we can know if we were making the same mistakes that we were making back when we crashed in 2006 or starting in 2006. Remember, we crashed for a long time before. The people that were looking at these stats knew this was coming for a while. So hopefully we will know the same if that ever happens in real estate, but it doesn't look like it. And I'll keep showing you why I think that. So here's the mortgage monitor. This is for October. This is a little delayed. They don't have November's yet. So they're it takes a while for them to accumulate all this stuff. But this tells us the where people are in their mortgages, majority. So delinquency rate is down 4.2%. Foreclosure starts are up 2.6%, and there's 3,000 active foreclosures that came up, which is up as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. Here's the national delinquency rate. So this was back in 2008 when the market crashed, when prices were at an all-time low. You had a very high percentage of delinquency rate. You saw a spike in March as well, but we quickly recovered and we're back to these levels where the market was very healthy. So this indicates that we're pretty healthy as far as delinquency rates are concerned. Same thing here. This is mortgage delinquency by severity. So as you can see, we're on a downtrend there as well. That's good to see for the health of the market. Loans rolling to more delinquent rates. We hit a peak here in March of 2020. Of course, and now we've recovered. It looks like we're starting to come up a little bit, but again, we're going to keep watching this, and we'll keep an eye out on this, and we'll know if something is starting to change. This was very dramatic because coronavirus literally made the world stop, so that's why that happened. All right, so total of past due mortgage payments looks like that's going down as well. So we're not, we're doing better and better. It looks like we had this peak for the same reason. Now it's going down, so that's good to see. Active forbearance plans are also on its way down. Back from, this is April 2020, so we had a lot of forbearance plans. Now there's a lot less forbearance plans, so that's good to see. That means that we're not going to have very much inventory coming in, which indicates that we're still in a seller's market. So anyway, those are just some indicators that I like to look at. Here's another one that's pretty fun. This was all the forbearances that happened in COVID. So there's 7.7 million forbearances. It looks like more than half of them have been removed or are now performing. So that's a positive sign. It looks like the ones that are, these are paid off in the gray, the second biggest box. These are still active forbearance plans that were extended. These were still in their original term, this blue sliver here. These are expired, so these are the actual foreclosures here, these red ones. This yellow here are the ones that are about to become red. So it looks like we do have some forbearance plans here that are going to go in the red or could go in the red, but not a lot of inventory still. So that tells us that we're going to continue this crunch, and it tells me that the market right now is in a slowdown period, of course, because we're in December and November, but it also tells me that we're probably going to pick back up just like we do every single year. So anyway, if you guys have any questions about the market, feel free to call us, feel free to message us. We're always happy to help you. I hope that helped give you an insight on how I look at the market. And anyway, thank you very much. Have a good one.